There are some possibilities that are too bad or so negative that we just don't like to think about them. We'll instantly write it off as too crazy to actually consider. I don't feel like I'm alone on this one, but what about the possibility that GTA 6, a game we've all been looking forward to for a while now, will be a failure? That's right, Rockstar's over 10 years in the making, and though we're still not 100% on these numbers yet, $1 to $2 billion production budget all down the drain. This is obviously too crazy to even consider, but by the end of this video, I think I'll even have you convinced. This is why GTA 6 is going to fail. Now you already know I like to jump right in, so let's go. The release of GTA 5 was a big deal, a game that went on to be, and still is in many ways, one of the biggest games of all time, with over 205 million copies sold worldwide, and an estimated $8.5 billion made off of the game, which leaves an almost $8.24 billion of profit. And after almost 12 years, GTA 5 still has an average player count of roughly 200,000 on Steam alone, every day. To say that this game is still influential would be an understatement, and to say that Rockstar Games had some pretty big shoes to fill, well, that part is clear. It was only a matter of time until we'd hear something about a GTA 6 in the making, because where there's gold, they'll keep digging. That's just business. In 2014, so roughly a year after GTA 5's release, Rockstar started the preliminary work officially marking the beginning. It was only after Red Dead Redemption 2's release in late 2018 that the full power of Rockstar got behind GTA 6. Though it had started production all the way back in 2014, we didn't hear anything official on it for roughly 8 years, guys. On February 4th, 2022, Rockstar finally confirmed that it was not only happening, but, quote, well underway. Now this was exciting. The differences in quality between GTA 5 and RDR2 alone are fascinating. What would a GTA 6 with more time invested into, with more money invested into, with better graphics, what would that look like? It was going to be a dream come true for sure. This could very possibly be one of the most legendary and biggest games on this planet. And guys, when has Rockstar really messed anything up? All the Red Dead games, including Revolver, were amazing. GTA has only grown as time has gone by. What could go wrong? Well, I'm very sorry, my dear Homo sapien, to change the mood ever so slightly on you, but that's just what I do. Since GTA 6's production began, Rockstar has been leading the way when it comes to business quality behind the scenes. Besides the simple removal of employees that hurt the culture production of a project, enhancing paid leave or mental health benefits, they've also implemented a flexi-time system, where employees are in control of their own schedules. All of this seems great, but something happened recently that should raise an eyebrow. We should be taking note of this stuff. In April of 2014, Happy New Year's by the way, guys, let's go, yay! Rockstar mandated a full-time return to office. Now this is strange considering the fact that it was around that time of year when we finally started hearing rumors and hints toward a finalized release date. I'll come back to this later, so don't go on forgetting about this because it's important to the story, alright? In September of 2022, in the classic Rockstar way, a huge amount of content was leaked. Roughly 90 different clips and pictures were leaked about the game. Now, this is important because for a company who's been as hush-hush as Rockstar on what could easily be the biggest game of all time, we need something to show it's real. This hasn't been some dream we've all collectively conjured up or something like, I don't know, like, it's happening, guys. It happened. So, though it was still a leak and Rockstar wasn't too thrilled by it, it was a gust of hope. Twitter, or X, whatever, user Jason from GTA 6 has gone on to leak stuff over time, like this photo in May of 2024, but there's been a lot of debate whether these are real or not. Some claim it's just AI, and others are absolutely convinced. And to be fair, Rockstar hasn't said anything official on them, so there is still hope, guys. Get ready for this amazing transition. Speaking of hope, do you know that Rockstar lowballed a band for their music? They offered Heaven 17, a UK band, $7,500 for some of their music, and they were not happy. Quote, go yourself. That's nice. Okay, let's get serious now. The last thing that Rockstar officially said about GTA 6 was a trailer they released over a year ago by now. Very interesting. For a game that, again, could be the biggest in the world, yeah, but more importantly, is supposedly less than a year from release, they've been radio silent. We have to ask, what's going on here? Now, I'm not taking away from the fact that we got an official trailer, which is awesome, guys, but then again, absolute silence for over a year, and it's not like we haven't been asking for news and updates or anything on the game. We all expected something to happen at the end of the year, like as a little, I don't know, gift, like, hey, stay in touch, guys, we're still working on it. Instead, Rockstar completely ignored it and gave us a few deals on their games and merchandise. Wow, to say the fanbase was not having it would almost be a mistake. The community has been basically driven mad. Not only are they simply upset with the overall lack of news or updates on a game that they're preparing to spend $100-something on, but nothing for New Year's. Needless to say, everyone is already convinced that the game is going to be delayed until 2026 at the earliest. Some of the jokes are, just delayed already, we already know you need to. It's actually funny, but people are not happy, and rightfully so. Now, while this is just a claim, it has a very real chance of being true, and if it is, we could be kissing goodbye our chances at enjoying Grand Theft Auto 6. In March of 2024, speculation began that Sweet Baby Inc., a group with a perfect track record and is loved by everyone, I was being sarcastic there, is involved with the production of GTA 6. Now, if you've been in the gaming community for a bit now, you'll know that we're kinda losing hope in games. They've ditched the art of making a game that'll stick with you for your whole life for the sake of making a message. Sweet Baby Inc. is a group that's been leading the way when it comes to this depression in quality. In their own words on their website, Sweet Baby Inc. is an award-winning team of writers and narrative designers who help make stories better. Wow, that is just great. Well, how they make games better is by drilling down and focusing on diversity and inclusivity instead of everything else. Now, while there isn't necessarily anything bad with this, it's how it takes center stage that rips the heart out of the game. It's just not a piece of art if all they can talk about is their skin color or gender. It's a message, and as you can imagine, this has hurt the modern video game industry. A perfect example of a Sweet Baby Inc. game would be Flintlock's Siege of Dawn, a game that I'm sorry, Lord, have a decent amount of time on. Nora Vanek, the character that you play as, doesn't have a soul. She's literally just a better than everyone else woman who can do everything that is awesome, and she is awesome and is better than everyone else at everything else and is awesome. And better than you. And will always be better. I'll come back to this soon, so don't go on forgetting about this, my dear Homo sapien. Now, what does this all mean for GTA 6? If this Sweet Baby Inc. really is involved with our game, how will it be affected? Well, following the blueprint that's been depicted with all the other games they've ruined, it's really gonna affect the whole game. This sadly isn't some kind of character design or story layout that's only super sensitive people can detect. This is something... Okay, take your time. Motorcycles are someone who's recording's worst enemy. This is something that you're reminded of all the time. So despite what they claim on their website, it doesn't end at diversity and inclusivity. It's in the bones of the game, the story, and the gameplay. All of it. Nora Vanek isn't just a woman who can do everything. You're reminded of it in every one of her voice lines and interactions. You just can't turn it off. This is the game. I usually play with the volume really low and have entertained the thought of turning off subtitles so I don't have to suffer through it anymore, but I think I've become comfortably numb and just make fun of it instead. It just gets tiring. Now, the story of the game is intriguing, hence why I played it, and the gameplay is fun, so I can still enjoy the game, but I oftentimes think about how much better this game would be as a whole if every fiber of her existence, the woman I'm playing as, wasn't created to effortlessly be the definition of a Mary Sue. It's just not a good character by any means. Oh my lord. Ugh. And you can't run away from it. It's the game. It's the message. This is why I fear for GTA 6, for a game that looks so promising and genuinely has what it takes to rock the world for years. If Sweet Baby Inc. is really involved, then it's going to lose much of what makes these games enjoyable and become, to an extent, a burden to play. Guys, I don't play Flintlock Siege of Dawn. I try to push through as much of it as I can take before I just get tired and have to put the controller down. I don't think it's too far off to say that Sweet Baby Inc. would have a blast ruining GTA 6. Lucia, the woman who, as it's looking more and more like until ROCKSTAR decides to finally give us some more information on the game, will be the main protagonist of the entire game, and I mean just her. I don't think it's wrong to safely assume that she'll be like every other female protagonist out there. Am I against video games about girls or video games with female protagonists? Literally not in the slightest. But we have the right to use logic and draw a connection between everything that's happened within the last decade in the gaming industry and say, why would this be any different? Now, I always forget Einstein's definition of insanity. If one of you guys can help me out in the comments, If Sweet Baby Inc. does have their hands on this game, then our hope is basically sealed. Game over. I'm still very hopeful that it isn't like this, that it's an amazing game coming soon, but I've been hopeful before and I've been optimistic before. Lest we forget that flexi time system that came to an end in April of 2024. Good job remembering it and sticking around, I see you. We see a group working at a decent pace, and then the release date gets closer or officially set, and then they heavily buckle down on the work Well, what do you mean? They're just trying to get the game ready for launch. Well, we still haven't heard anything about the game for over a year, and here's another point. In one of my recent videos on Assassin's Creed Shadows and just how deep the pit they've dug themselves into really is, we talked about how everything on the surface of production looked amazing. We're not really releasing any trailers or updates in the game, we're just hard at work and it's awesome. But some info was recently leaked and it turned out that the entire studio was in shambles. They had been begging for more time on the game for a while. Now, look. Rockstar is different. They're bigger than Ubisoft. They've been doing this for a while. They've been around. They've done this before. They got this. I hope so. I really do. But we can't forget that Ubisoft has been around for a while. That this wasn't their first rodeo. But this very well might be the game that kills them. I was right about Paladins. I was right about Suicide Squad, KTJL. I was right about Dragon Age Veilguard. I was right about Marvel Rivals. I was right about Star Wars Outlaws. And so I fear for Grand Theft Auto 6. Simply put, for a variety of factors, GTA 6 absolutely has the power to become the biggest game in the world, but we're seeing signs now that things might not be as awesome as we're hoping for. Not only has Rockstar been radio silent for over a year about a game that's 9 months away from release, about 9 months, over a decade in development and an estimated $1 to $2 billion budget, but there are rumors surrounding the involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. in our GTA 6. A group whose sole purpose is taking out the art of a video game and making it a message. This is not good news. Not only that, but we're seeing similarities and patterns between Ubisoft's struggle and, in the end, failure of a game and Rockstar's current development of GTA 6. Silence from the company, increased work, and most likely, just like Assassin's Creed Shadows, a delay, which is always good news for the quality of a game, and so we're praying. Well, what do you think? To be 100% clear about everything, I'm not against female main characters or anything even along those lines at all. It's just rare that the company doesn't get swept away with the whole Mary Sue thing. I am still hoping for the game, and guys, of course it's going to do well. This is GTA 6. At the very least, it's going to do what GTA 5 was able to do. I just fear for the game. So far, Cyberpunk has been the biggest video game fail at roughly a 7-year development time and $320 million down the drain. GTA 6 will beat this by a landslide and easily become one of the most historic moments in the industry, sure, but history in general. $1 to $2 billion budget and over a decade in the making. Sheesh, guys, my goodness. So we are praying. But what do you think? Do you think it'll fail or suffer the stuff we talked about here? I want to know. If you've made it this far, then truly, you are a great gamer. So consider subscribing and joining the club, my friend. I'm trying to build an audience-driven community here, and that relies on you guys. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And remember, life is short. Play great games. Usually when I'm doing the research for a video, I'll only come across 3 to 5 or so, 5 being a lot, big points of controversy to talk about. Decisions, actions, accidents, meaning, all of it. But while making this one, I was blown away by the list. It just didn't end. I can say with authority that I haven't seen a video game